gratitude practice. So I did a remix on my gratitude practice. My gratitude practice in the beginning, when I first learned about it, where we learned about many things back in the olden days on Oprah. There was a woman who put out a very famous book on gratitude, and Oprah had her on, and it was this big hit, and millions of books sold later. I thought, well, gratitude had always been something that was meaningful to me. Appreciation had always been something that was meaningful to me. I think when you grow up in a place of deprivation, automatically you appreciate every kindness, every piece of generosity that comes your way. I had a friend in college who did just a simple thing for me when I was in a really low place one summer and took me out to a Chinese buffet and we went for a hike in the woods. I can't tell you, this was over 30 years ago. I think about that all the time because he just came along and swooped in at a time when I really, really needed a friend and a hot meal. So it really, really paid off for me. So back to gratitude. Gratitude becomes a big thing. Everybody is talking about it. And as everyone is talking about it, I do what I try to do, which is I try to be a good girl and be a good student. And I get a special little journal and I got a special little pen and I put them on my bedside table. And each night I would sit there and I would write down 3 things that I was grateful for. And I did this every night for months and months at a time. And yet I did not feel that I was experiencing the astronomical benefits that Oprah had sold me on. And so then I thought maybe 3 things isn't enough. Maybe I need to do 6 things. So then I started writing down 6 things, right? Little phrases. I'm grateful for the friend that called me. I'm grateful for the lunch I had today. I'm grateful to have 10 fingers and 10 toes and be able to write with my hands. Things like that. He just wasn't having the impact that I had been led to believe. And what I realized is that I had turned this beautiful practice into another thing to check off on the boxes of the list, right? So I have, we all have our little routines that we do. And I was making it into another routine. And so it was that thing that I did before bed. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for this. It didn't have any genuine emotion. I wasn't even being fully present within it. And so it wasn't something that I was savoring. It wasn't something that I was embodying. It wasn't something that I was breathing life into. It wasn't even something that I was reliving. I was just listing some things on a page. And so it's really important that we do a remix on this gratitude practice and breathe life into it, because gratitude isn't just a nice thing to do. It is a very, very important part of our teaching. It is one of my favorite steps of spiritual mind treatment, our word for affirmative prayer, which is the second to last part of spiritual mind treatment, where we give thanks. We give thanks for that thing that we are affirming is already come into beingness, because there is only one moment, and that moment is now. So when we do affirmative prayer, we move into the now. We speak the words. We move into the feeling tone, what that is to have that prayer be answered, and we give thanks for it already being so. Ernest Holmes says, appreciation, gratitude, and thanksgiving, the motive power which attracts and magnifies the hidden potentialities of life. The motive power. I love that expression, right? It's a motivator. It motivates more good to come into our lives. He also said, gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. Little different languaging, very poetic. So I'm going to say that again. Gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. So he's sharing how gratitude is a unifying force, that it brings us into that state of oneness that we talk about so much here. So what I really realized is that I needed to start making gratitude juicy. I needed to remix that practice, that sitting and listing some things on a piece of paper was not enough. I needed to breathe life into it. And the way that I did that is I started creating little rants of appreciation. And I would do that by coming up with something that I was grateful for. So I mentioned the 10 fingers, right? So I am grateful for having 10 working fingers because I am grateful for fill in the blanks because. Why? Well, I love that I can chop my food. I love that I can do my hair and put on my makeup. I love that I can write by hand. I love that I can feel and touch fabrics and textures. I'm grateful for these 10 fingers because I can hold the hand of another and I can use them in an embrace with someone else. I love these hands because I can open my car door and get in. If you've ever had an injury that has affected your physical ability, you will recognize how easily we take things for granted. There was a time not long ago where I partially dislocated my right shoulder. It was the most excruciating pain that I'd ever experienced in my entire life. It was absolutely horrific. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lay down. I had to sit laying upwards. I could nod out for a little bit, but I had to have TV on because the pain, I had to sort of drown out the feeling of the pain. Opening up a car door, shifting with my right hand, steering with only one hand because I couldn't use this arm. I immediately sensed what I had taken for granted. And so my gratitude practice became a way of not doing that. And as I would do it, I would breathe life into it. I would embody it. I would feel this incredible um, feeling of, wow, look what I can do with these two things that are attached to my body. And this was before these very things became my profession, became my livelihood. Jan probably feels this as well as a massage therapist. I'm a tapper. I'm using these for acupressure every day for myself and for other people. So it's sort of interesting that prior to doing that, that I really embodied the feeling of absolute gratitude for the generosity that I have been given by having 10 fingers and being able to use my hands. So I encourage you, when you are feeling gratitude, to squeeze every bit of goodness out of those gifts that show up, no matter how seemingly normal or small. None of it is small in the face of the universe, okay? And we do this by asking ourselves why I am grateful. I am grateful for this because. And allow it to flow out of you. You could even record it into a voice memo on your phone if you want to preserve it in some kind of way. But move from just the head into the heart and into the body and give voice and savor and appreciate. And how else we juice up our gratitude is by sharing it with other people. There was a time for a couple of years I was a part of a gratitude group where we were in an email chain and we would send emails back and forth saying this happened and that happened. And as we did, we multiplied the energy of the blessings that are in our lives. We multiplied them out in all directions by sharing them with one another. Not only did we multiply our own blessings, we helped to magnify the blessings of everyone that was in a group. That is one of the incredible things about being part of a community, guys. We have people here who get it. Have a generosity buddy. Have a time when we meet together on Sundays in person and we go out for lunch afterwards. Let's go to lunch and talk about all of the blessings in our lives. We will float out of that diner in a different and more transformed state. And so it brings me to my next point, which is about praise. So Myrtle Fillmore, who is one of the creators of the Unity Church, says, praise is gratitude in action. Praise is gratitude in action. So I learned this lesson about 20 years ago. I had moved from a one-bedroom apartment with my 3 cats into 2 floors of an enormous Victorian house with a roommate named Scott. We had stairs, we had plenty of space, and 2 of my cats adjusted immediately, and one of them wasn't really leaving the bedroom. His name was Saki. He was 25 pounds. He was almost all white, except he had this gray streak that went between his ears on the top of his head, which made him look like he was wearing a toupee. And he was a gentle, gentle giant. He was the proverbial middle child between the other 2. He had no demands. He sort of was in the background. He didn't have a lot of expectations. He didn't meow. He just sort of chilled. He was very much the Zen Buddha of my life. And so my living room was on the 2nd floor, and he was in the bedroom on the 3rd floor, and he just would not leave. And I wasn't sure what to do about it. If you've ever tried to discipline or force a cat to do something, you've probably very quickly realized how futile that is. Where the expression, it's like herding cats, comes from, very good cliche, because it's very, very accurate, okay? Can't force them to do stuff they don't want to do. So what I started doing was praising him. So every day I'd go into the bedroom because, he had to have his meals separately, of course, because he couldn't make it down to the kitchen. And I would say, you are so brave. You are such a courageous boy. You're doing such a good job. I love you so much. I miss you when I'm downstairs, but I love you. And I know how strong and courageous you are. And I did that on one day. And the next day, when I was going up onto the 3rd floor, there he was sitting just outside the bedroom door. And I said, Saki, you're really inside the go. I'm so proud of you. Lots of pets, lots of love. Then served him his meal. Very good thing to couple up praise with food. Seems to work very, very well. The next day, I found him on the landing between the 2nd and 3rd floor. And again, can't believe it. You're the greatest cat in the world. You made it down to the landing. You're fantastic. And by the next day after that, he made it into the living room where I made the biggest fuss about him ever. I was like, suck it. You're so brave and courageous. I love you so much. So cats are a lot like women. They become accustomed to a certain type of treatment. If you've ever loved a woman, you may have witnessed this. So this was not the only time that I had to put on a celebration, because now this turned into a ritual. In the evening, I'd turn the TV on. He would hear it. I'd hear him come down the stairs. He'd wait outside the doorway to make a grand entrance, and then he'd come in, and I'd say, Saki's here, okay? And so one time, my roommate was on the steps during this ritual, And he said to me, I can't believe it. Saki almost knocked me down the stairs. I said, never get in the way of a parade, my friend. Never get in the way of a parade. Your timing was not good. So I had to start doing this every night. Sometime after that, a friend came to stay with me. And so she was the witness to this celebration of praise. And she said to me, how long have you been doing this? I said, oh, it's got to be 3 or 4 months now. So she started joining in with me. Each night he'd come in and we'd be like, suck, and we'd do it. And then this incredible thing happened. She said to me, I've never seen a cat smile and dance. And 2 days in, she said to me, I feel really good. I said, yeah, it feels really, really good to praise. It feels really, really good to appreciate. And so that created a praise ministry within my cat momhood, that I praise and appreciate all the things that they are doing very well. I'm looking for. So my catling has had some things going on lately. Every day I praise her. I praise her body. I say, oh, kidneys, you're doing such an incredible job. You're working so good on her behalf. Oh, Ling's brain, I love you so much. You are so smart. You're working so perfectly. Oh, Ling, you are so strong. Your body is so intelligent. It knows exactly what it needs right now. And as I say it, my worry dissipates. It boosts my energy. And she feels good. And there's a different energy in my home when I do it. So I'm going to encourage you as we move through the end of November, through the end of December, and into 2026 to bring praise to all of the things that are going so well, to speak to your body with such praise and appreciation. Listen, our conscious minds are survival minds. They are designed to focus on what is going wrong so that you will solve whatever that problem is. This is why positive thinking is not easy biologically, okay? 100% of your body could be working perfectly and you get a paper cut. Oh, the agony. Oh, this paper cut is killing me. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Why didn't I put on lotion? Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I can't take it, the paper cut. And meanwhile, the rest of you is working just fine. It's imperative that we look for what is right and well. Start praising your body, guys, before something hurts, before something is not working, before an injury or an ailment. Praise your bones for keeping you upright. Praise your brain for remembering the garbage bags when you went to the grocery store. Now, I can't do that for my brain because I got to write everything down. But for you guys, you might be able to do it. I'm going through menopause. Lots of changes happening here, guys. Lots of changes happening. I literally said that to someone at the bank the other day, to the bank teller. I forgot to put something in my deposit, and I was like, boy, this is who I am now. Just go and talk about menopause with everyone I come across. Even the drive-through bank, nobody is free. No one is immune. I'm sorry. You all have to realize what I'm going through. So I used to be someone who hid so many things about myself. Not anymore. I just so praise everything that is working, even if I forget the garbage bags because I didn't write them down. What did I remember? How did my hips move me through that grocery store experience? How did my arms work as I reached for something off the shelf and brought it down? As we get older, changes happen physically. And I think that one of the gifts in that is that we don't take anything for granted. Breathe life into your gratitude, into your generosity, and into your praise. Savor everything that comes along. Savor everything that has meaning for you. Suck the juice out of the good things that are in your life. Share your blessings without apology. And if you have some Debbie Downers in your life, you know that's not the place to go. Don't be disappointed if they don't react the way you think. Go to the people that you know who are going to say, way to go. That's incredible. I'm so happy for you. That's really exciting. That's spirit in action. Look at the way God shows up, right? Those are the people that you go to. That's why we are here in community. There can be a lot of negativity going on, okay? Very, very, very difficult to not get sucked into the undertow. But for every one of us, we are blessed beyond measure because somewhere in the world is someone who has no food. And we've got a ton of food. One of the ways that I'm expressing my gratitude is to not be wasteful. So I did an entire inventory of everything that was in my pantry because, there's stuff in there, but then I just buy new stuff and then 2 years go by and then that thing is out of date. Now I got to throw it out. I don't want to do that anymore. I really, really don't. So I made an inventory. I went through everything. I pulled out a huge bag of stuff, which I brought to the little pantry around the corner from where I live because there are people that need it so much more than me. And in that moment, I didn't feel guilt. I felt appreciation that I have so much that I can give. When we give from that place of recognizing how much we have, we feed the prosperity consciousness within us. And we recognize, oh, I just missed it. I just wasn't present to all of the blessings that come in and come around. Last night, as I drove into the city for Amy Steinberg's concert, I had this moment where I was looking at the skyline from Route 3, and I thought, people come from all over the world to go to New York City. They've been seeing the city in movies their whole lives. To see that skyline, and I, in 35 minutes, can drive right in anytime I'm able to go. I've never lived in New York City. That's probably why it's still magical for me. Because I'm a highly sensitive person and it can be a bit of an intense environment. So every time I go in, I feed the magic of that experience that I get to be in this place that people from all over the world come to see, and I can come anytime I want. What a gift. Seems like an average Saturday night. Yesterday was a bit of a gloomy day. I could have easily justified wrapping up in a blanket and laying on the couch again. But as I got myself up to go, just going in there and seeing the graffiti and the people and even the sidewalk that was filled with broken glass, it felt like this mix of magic and mystery that is unfolding there all the time. And I get to partake of it whenever I want. So I'm not saying don't do gratitude lists, but what I'm saying is make it so much more than something you write on a piece of paper. If you write it on the piece of paper, close your eyes and relive it. Oh, somebody gave me a gift certificate they weren't using or a gift card they weren't using for this store. Go back to that moment in your mind where that is being given to you and really let it in and say all of this and so much more for me and for all of us. We are the creators, guys, made in the image and the likeness of the One. And as systems fall away, what an incredible time for us to move into our power as the creators that we are. Just a little reminder here, wealth is created. And that is not woo-woo. If you talk to any financial expert, they will tell you the same. We sometimes believe there's a pie of money, and if someone has a bigger slice of pie, then we get a really, really small slice of pie because there's not that many slices left. But the truth is, More and more pies are created. Wealth is built. So let's feed into the wealth of what we have in the here and now. Let it multiply our pies. A pie named love, a pie named friendship, a pie named money, a pie named adventure, a pie named creative self expression. Breathe life into it and allow that practice to lead you forward. All right, so we're going to have, oh no, I'm going to do spiritual mind treatment right now. I don't want to lose any momentum. Let's do it. So I invite you to join me in prayer. I'm going to place one hand on top of the other and place it in the center of my chest. This is called the Serenity Hold in the energy world. Because why not bring some of that love back to our own heart as we pray together? I let the air out of my breath. And as I inhale, I recognize this life giving practice of giving and receiving that happens every moment of every single day. While I'm sleeping, while I'm meditating, while I'm in a meeting, life is giving to me through the breath, and I am surrendering what no longer serves as I exhale. And as I remember this, I remember the truth about God. That God is all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere present within me, within everyone that is present here today, within everyone that ever listens to the recording, and within everyone on the planet right here and right now. We are connected through the force of love. And so, what I remember about God is what I remember about nature, that nature's natural expression is generosity. That every plant on this planet produces more seeds, exponentially more seeds, than could ever take root. They produce, they give, and they let go so that life continues in a state of expansion. And so, what I know for each of us is that we are deeply savoring, embodying, and breathing life into the gifts and blessings, the ones that just seem normal and everyday to the extraordinary and everything in between. All of it an expression of God's goodness that is living, breathing, and moving as each of us. I know that no longer do we take anything for granted. That in the here and now, life is supporting each and every one of us. And so we move into gratitude, we move into generosity, we move into appreciation, not from a place of habit, but from a place of awareness and presence. And as we breathe life into all of this, I see that the natural expression can only be the expansion of good within and all around us. And just as we are being more present with what we receive, so too are we more present with what we give. We give from that place of fullness. We give from that place of recognizing that we are the creator and that the creation is operating through our consciousness and that there is always more. There is always more food. There is always more money. There is always more life. And as we give, we simply make room for more good to come into our expression. I know for each and every one of us that we are letting go of what no longer serves, whether that's an old toaster or an old relationship. We are discarding what no longer is in alignment with our consciousness. And we do it from a place of love, giving that back out into the flow for those people, for those items to find their rightful place in the world. And as we do, the inflowing love of all that is, that knows us better than we could ever even know ourselves, says yes says yes to our desires, spoken and unspoken, says yes to our dreams, spoken and unspoken, says yes to the reality of who each of us are. And so, together, in prayer, silently or loud, we simply say, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for answered prayer. Thank you for the perfect outpicturing of all of this. Thank you for the great mystery. Thank you for what shows up that we expect and all of the gifts that we don't. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I move into surrender. This is the part where we take any pressure off. This is the part where we let go. This is the part where we give over to the maker of the universe and everything and everyone in it. That power certainly has the power to do all of this and so much more. So I let go and I let God be God. It is so good. The word has been spoken and it is so. And so it is. Amen.